Hello, my name is Nathan Foster, and I wanted to share with you a book that I recently wrote. It's called The Making of an Ordinary Saint, My Journey from Frustration to Joy with the Spiritual Disciplines. Essentially what I've done in this book is I took the 12 classic spiritual disciplines that my father wrote about in a book called Celebration of Discipline. He wrote it back in 1978. I took the disciplines that he wrote about, things like prayer and fasting, meditation, service, celebration, worship, and I spent 4 years practicing them. And then I wrote a narrative of my journey, successes and failures, what worked and what didn't work. What's unique to me about this piece, it was actually quite a fun journey to go on. I didn't really know what was going to happen in it. And there's a number of things that I think came out that would be quite interesting for people. But one of the pieces that I think highlights it or maybe makes it a little unique is thinking in terms of spiritual life as living by grace. We're saved by grace, but we also live by grace. And that means grace for ourselves and grace for other people. So these various practices, these spiritual activities that we do, and doing them as an active response to God's love, that we're loved unconditionally, just as we are. And we respond to that, and we show up, and we get to do these different activities. So it's really an invitation, not an obligation, an invitation covered in grace, and a journey of sorts that we get to go on. It's a number of things I talk about in the book, but just a couple of highlights or different pieces. And with submission, I work with the idea of submitting to the wind as I ride on a bicycle. Or what does it look like to learn about submitting to God by submitting to my children? In the chapter on confession, I went to every place I've ever lived and made confessions for the things I've done wrong at those various places. In service, I learned how to serve my wife, how to serve her and do it well. And uncovered in that how I was doing things that I thought were for her but really weren't. So often we enter into doing spiritual activities as a burden or something that is painful and or something we fail at and we feel like we never measure up to. And what I do with this is approach them with a grace for ourselves in that. And so it becomes a joy, it becomes an invitation, and not something that's an obligation. So there's the book, and I hope you're able to check it out and enjoy it. Thank you.